Here's the path I was walking down. Here's some of that damage from that storm that broke a lot of trees that Friday right after the 4th of July. Here you can see a root ball for a tree that completely tipped over. Looks like it might have hit some other trees as it came down. There's that path I was walking on that got completely blocked by trees. So now I came around to the left to look behind and see what I see. And there's big branches here. There's that tree that split right like that. Then there's laying down trees back. So I think that's another root ball sticking up. Yeah, I think that's a root ball over there. So I haven't figured out a way yet to get back to my path. So I might have to go to the right between where that tree fell and where the path is blocked. Okay, now I'm going to try to see if I can get around the path on the right by going between where all this fell and the root ball of the next tree that fell. Other trees. This was not a little tree. Look at, there are dead branches up there too, but most are on the ground. Spider web, by the way. Wow. This all happened at 7:30 in the morning on the Friday after Independence Day weekend in 2026. And we lost power for 20 hours. And a tree had fallen over a line blocking our whole neighborhood's exit from our neighborhood. And without power, we had no pump for our wells. We had no water. It was a little bit daunting, but I'd never seen trees fall like this. So I just came through that gap, and now I'm looking for a path down that I can find again to get back up, since the other path, out of commission. Some things could have been older deadfall, but maybe not, given what I see down here. But I'm going to try to make my way to the left if the trees above look safe, and try to find my way back to the actual path and see if I can see how the rest of it looks. So I made my way around all the fallen stuff up there at the top of the path by going to the right, going downhill, and then back to my left. So reorient yourself. That's that tree that bent over in the middle, and that's where the path is blocked. And looks like the path nearly missed getting hit really hard right here. Okay, now I'm on the path. There's that bent over tree. The more I looked, the more fallen trees I saw. There's something laying right there. Then on around here, you see a tree trunk. And then you see another root ball of a tree that was knocked over by that tree but fell a different direction than it did. As it goes all the way down the hill like this. Now I'm about to turn around and see what the actual path has in store for me. But it might get blocked again here farther down because I can see some dead leaves through the green leaves. Well, the trail was hit again by more trees. I can see multiple root balls. There's one, and there's one. There's some trees leaning way over, right back there. But it doesn't even look like it's caught on a branch of another tree. It just looks like it almost fell, but didn't quite. And then behind that, I can see more fallen logs back there that fell across the creek and up the hill behind here. But when I turn around, you'll see, all these obstacles. And maybe back there you can see the pond. That's where I'm trying to get to. Right beyond all this, you could see the water of the pond. The fallen trees weren't in the way. And root balls, whole entire trunks. And right down there is the very end of the pond where it's kind of usually empty, actually, unless it's rained a lot. And then over this way is the actual pond. I don't know. No, I'm not at the right angle for you to see it. So I'm going to try to climb over this log and see if I can continue following the trail, because right down here it turns to the right on the other side of all these fallen trees to go along that side of the pond. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, now I've crossed over this tree you see laying here, looking into this tree's hole from its root ball. I'm right where the path curves, because over here is the very narrow end of the pond. And normally, the path would go right underneath this new tree bridge, which I don't trust. So I'm going to go around on the other side. Wow, I just climbed around where the old path was to get on this side, and take a look at that. Across there. There are trees in the water, and they fell down from that side of the pond. Looking up from below the usual path, there's the tree falling in the water I just showed you. I looked up here, there's a broken Christmas ornament of the wine hat hanging from a tree. And then, if you look straight up, I think I lost my place. There's a metal chair sitting there. Then over here's the edge of the fire ring. This was a spot we'd sit. So I'm sure glad he wasn't out here at 7:30 in the morning that day. Okay, all this that fell across the trail, I went down as far as I could, went around, and just climbed back up to where the trail's supposed to be. There's Wayne's in my fire pit. You probably can't even see, there's this metal folding chair. That little folding chair fell over. And all of this straight in front of me was normally the trail. Now behind me, I'm going to continue the trail the way it's supposed to go. Looks like some things fell down right there, but it doesn't hurt anything trail-wise until we get down here. I see a tree down. Let's go. Is that besides the trail behind me, after I went down the trail just a little bit, started looking through here and seeing fallen trees. There's another root ball laying up the hillside from me, and looking through here I see some more root balls. I don't know if you can see this. There's the trees that fell in the pond, but I just realized right back here, up that hill, all the way down, you can't even see that on the camera probably, there's more dead leaves all the way as far as I can see on that ridge. And right underneath this bunch right here is my husband's memorial, where my son and I planted a lot of special plants and things and decorations to remember him, because we love this spot. And then you can barely see, maybe you can't see though. There it is. This is the top of the deck box where we store some stuff. It looks like that's the only thing over here that didn't get crushed. So now I'm farther down the path. That's the path basically right there. And I had looked across, and not only are there the trees that are in the water, there's these trees that are crossing over my husband's memorial at the place where had a bench. There's trees all through there, so I'm not sure what state any of it will be in. You can see this tree in the water. But right behind me, first you see these to the side. But behind me, there's another one. It's got one of those really weird, twisty, bent in half kind of tops up there. And then there's the stuff behind us that you've been seeing me talk about. This is a little bit over and down is the dam from where I'm standing right now. And you know, we see more root balls and trees down. But there's another one farther down that's laying down the hillside, so I'm not sure I can get over there. I might have to go back up the hill and not go any further on the pond. But it's those trees across the way that saddened me the most, because everything over here was part of a special area we had to sit and think about Mike. He lived it out here. So that's the other side. Okay, made it around the last obstacles. Look at this. The rocks in this tree's root ball. And it hit other trees on the way down, or other trees hit it. I'm not sure which came first because they fall in different directions. And just down there is the water. Can't get the right angle to show you the boat, or the kayak, which is wrongly upside down. But anyway, that's the dam. And so what I'm looking for is the path that goes to the dam. And I think it's right over here, past that log. Here we go. Okay, I made it back to the actual path that goes down to the dam, behind where you see the little dock there and the cross. And then that's those trees and stumps and logs I had to climb over and around to get back to the actual path. Here we go.